So we've done distribution property and we've done adding like terms. Today, we're going to put the two together in a new way. So basically, both of those skills are part of the simplify step of solving. So when we get to actual solving, the very first step is to simplify. And of all the things that we've learned to do, you're going to use distribution property first, because you want there to be no parentheses or brackets or other kinds of grouping symbols. So it's always distribution property first to get rid of parentheses. And then what happens is, now that there's no parentheses, you have new terms that you can add together. And that's where yesterday's skill comes into play. You're going to add like terms. And those are pretty much the two most common simplifying moves that you're going to come across. All right, so let's do an example. A negative times 2x plus 3. Now, I think most of you know this, but you know that there can't be a negative without a number. It's like saying something can breathe without a body. It has to have a number attached to it. It cannot exist alone. So at least here in the beginning, when we're first learning this, I want you to put the invisible 1 in front of the negative. And I want you to do it as long as it takes until your algebra brain sees it when it isn't there. When you start just seeing it, even though it's not written, that's when you can stop writing it. Now, this is all old stuff. We're going to distribute the negative 1 through the parentheses. So you go negative 1 times 2x, leave a space, negative 1 times 3. This format helps reduce errors with negatives. And with distribution property, it's the negatives that cause the most disturbance. So here we go. Mentally, you're going to do signs, numbers, letters. So a negative times a positive is a negative. There's the sign. 1 times 2 is 2. There's the number. Tag the x. Now do the other pair. A negative times a positive is a negative. And remember that whatever you get from this pair is what goes in the middle. 1 times 3 is 3. All done. So by separating it into 3 pieces, your brain actually processes faster. All right, let's do another one. A negative times negative 4x minus 3. This one could cause all kinds of mayhem if you're not careful. So put them 1 into the negative. And again, if you like drawing the arrows, because that helps your brain, you can draw the arrows. You do not have to draw the arrows. I always say do it for a little while until it's not necessary anymore. All right, here we go. Negative 1 times negative 4x, leave a space, negative 1 times negative 3. When you write it this way, all those negatives make sense, because a negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 4 is 4. Tag the x. Now the other one, negative times a negative is a positive. Put the plus. 1 times 3 is 3. So all of a sudden, what looked really complicated isn't. All right, we're only going to do 5 examples today, not very many. So some of these are going to have 3 pieces. So you have a negative, and then in parentheses, 2a minus 3b plus 4c. So as you learned day before yesterday, 3 pieces just means you're going to have 2 spaces. That's the only difference. You're still going to put the 1 in. You're still going to distribute. It's just going to happen 3 times. All right, so we have negative 1 times 2a, leave a space, move to the next one. Negative 1 times negative 3b, leave a space, move to the next one. Negative 1 times 4c. So it's the exact same process, just 3 times. All right, let's do it. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 2 is 2. Tag the a. Moving over. A negative times a negative is a positive. Put the plus. 1 times 3 is 3. Tag the b. Moving over. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 4 is 4. Tag the c. All right. So here's one of the combo ones. 2x plus 7x minus, and then in parentheses, 4x plus 6. So when you simplify, getting rid of grouping symbols is always the first thing. So we're going to ignore the 2x and the 7x, and we're going to put the 1 in, and we're going to start by distributing the negative 1. So just ignore the 2x terms. We have negative 1 times 4x, leave a space, negative 1 times 6. All right, and negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 4 is 4. Tag the x. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 6 is 6. We're done with that. There's no more parentheses. This is where you're going to bring down your x terms. So your 2x plus 7x. This is one of the problems from yesterday. Adding like terms means you can add the ones that have the same letter. All right, we have 3 different x's. We can add those together. You can go left to right. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5x. And then it's minus 6. All right, last problem. These two, by the way, are right off your homework. So you'll see these again. 3a minus 7b minus, in parentheses, 4a minus 3b. One of the funny things about algebra is it's actually very visual, meaning what it looks like matters. This problem, most of you just charge right into. You're like, X's, I got this. The minute we change the letters, even though the math is the same, your brain is going to be a little slower to respond because we do most with X's. That's the one where we learn all the basics, but you need to be able to do the same things with other letters. So if you do get to a problem like this and you're stuck, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with A's and B's. Here's a trick, and yes, it's a trick, but it's a legal trick. You can replace the A with X and the B with Y, do the problem, and then at the end, put the A and the B back. Or you can just rewrite it with X's and Y's and look at it, and your brain goes, oh, I see what I'm supposed to do. It's really funny when it happens. Your brain just likes the X's. All right, same basic approach. We're going to start by getting rid of parentheses, so you're going to distribute the negative 1. So negative 1 times 4a, leave a space, negative 1 times negative 3b. Multiply the first two. Negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 4 is 4. Tag the a. Now the second one. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 3 is 3. Tag the b. All right, bring down the first two terms, the 3a minus 7b. This is now an adding like terms problem. So I'm going to start with the a's. The signs are different, so subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. The bigger number gives the sign. 4 is bigger. It's a negative 1a. All right, now go ahead and do the b's. Hello? Yes? Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Celia, they want you at the front desk. They said to take your stuff. I have no idea. All right, at the B's. The signs are different, so subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4B. And the bigger number gives the sign. 7 is bigger, it's negative. Now, you can write your answers for now with the negative 1. Eventually, though, I want you to just have a negative a and then minus a 4b. That's another one of those, do it until your brain sees it. And when your brain starts to see the invisible 1, you can stop writing it. All right, are there any questions?